Welcome to the 2019 Major League Baseball Playoff Preview on the Who-Bangin Sports Talk channel. My name is Rici. Let's play ball. Who-Bangin Sports Talk Network. Today, we have Nolly Knows with us. And we're going to start talking about the Braves cards. But before we do that, how you doing this morning, Nolly?
I'm doing real well, Dom. Pleasure to be here. Shout out to Who-Bangin Sports for having me on. And I'm excited, man. I'm really excited for some playoff baseball. There's already been a couple great games, and I'm ready for it.
So last night, Nolly, we seen that Tampa Bay pulled that game out. They played a lot better game than I thought, for sure. I was on Oakland, but what do you think now? They're going to play the Astros, and we have the Yankees and the Twins tomorrow. Do you see any kind of upset? Do you think anybody can, Tampa Bay, for instance, can they pull an upset with the Astros?
I mean, Tampa Bay is a scary team. I think they're doing something special over there. They're getting guys to play where other guys in other franchises, they weren't able to. You got guys like d'Arnaud, Pham, Glasnow, Meadows, guys that other franchises gave up on, and now they're succeeding over here in Tampa. But at the end of the day, I think Houston has way too much firepower, man. That team is loaded, and as a Dodger fan, that's the team to fear.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny when you said d'Arnaud. It reminds me of last year when he was on the Mets. He was just so terrible. And then he goes to Tampa Bay, and he's like a new player.
Yep.
But anyhow, you know, the series that I think there might be an upset is the Yankees-Twins game. Something about this Twins team that I think the Yankees should be scared of. That Yankee starting pitching isn't as great as it usually is, and there's some holes there. I really think the Twins could definitely win game one, and I think they might be able to take the series. What about you?
Yeah, that's a very scary team. You know, there's no secret. They love the long ball. They set records for most home runs. And they got a couple question marks as well. You know, Berrios is a big question mark. I'm a big fan of his, but that's a big question mark going into that series as well. But I think that's the better chance. I think they have a better chance of beating the Yankees than I'd say Tampa. I mean, not saying Tampa's a bad team. All these teams are solid, still in it. That's why they're in the playoffs. But I just think, Minnesota is definitely scary. Like you said, that starting pitching hasn't been what they expected over there. They lost Herman, and that was a big blow. And they're huge. I think they're on upset alert for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm sure some of my Yankee fans around town here, they're talking big, but I know in the back of their head they're a little bit worried about this year. I'll tell you, with these playoffs, and you mentioned home runs, the Twins had 307 home runs this year. That's amazing. The Yankees 306, the Astros 288. The Dodgers 279. So those are the top four teams that everybody's worried about, and those are the top four teams in home runs this year. I thought that was interesting that's how it worked out this year. Playoffs, we know, are home runs and pitching, so it seems to be held up. So today we got the big game today, this afternoon, 5 o'clock Eastern time. The Cardinals at the Braves. Cardinals held on to that division when it came down to it. That was a team I didn't think was going to make it. I thought the Cubs were going to be the Cardinals of this year, and it wasn't. What do you think about today's game, Nolly?
I think what did it for the St. Louis Cardinals was that pitching. Flaherty has been the best pitcher in MLB, and that's crazy to say because DeGrom's been right there as well. And then you got Michaelis that stepped up down the stretch, and that's a big factor with this team. And you got him going today, and I think he's poised for a good start. I don't think the state's going to be too big for him. I mean, the guy's 31 years old. He's been around. He had to travel to Japan to play. He's faced some adversity in his life.
Yes, he has.
So I don't think the state's going to be like too big in his first playoff appearance. I understand it's going to be the biggest game of his career, but I think he might have a nice solid start, despite his road ERA of 5.4. I think he's poised for a good start though.
Yeah, I see his last 5 starts, all in September, and he had a 3.34 ERA. So he has been pitched well lately. I have a feeling that you're like me. You don't think he's as bad as some of our friends that do. We always hear about Michaelos. They none of them really like him. It seems like you're all more on the same page as me. That I don't think he's as bad as everybody thinks.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And I look at his last 4 starts, his last 4 road starts, and none of which he's given up more than 3 earned runs. His last start against the Cubs, he went 7 2/3, 1 earned run, and that was a critical spot. They hadn't clinched the division yet. So, like I said, like that was a big factor for me going into this game because the guy is ready. He's in mode. He wants to win, and I mean, ideally they want Flaherty on the mound, but they threw him on Sunday, try to clinch the division. So he's their clear-cut ace. There's no doubt about that. But I think they made the right move. If you're going to go on short rest with Flaherty, why not do it in a Game 5 situation as opposed to the Game 1? You know, so I think they made the right call going with Michaelis, even over Wainwright, because Wainwright's not the same guy.
No, not at all. And you're right about Flaherty. They had to use him on Sunday, so that had to be the reason why they didn't start him right away. But what about this Braves team? Are we overlooking this Braves? Tonight, I have a feeling that the Cardinals could win this Game 1. But what about this series? The Braves have been hot all year. When I thought they were going to take a little dive and just coast, they didn't. They kept strong in September. They played hard. We got Keuchel on the mound. He's been pitching for a long time. I mean, he hasn't been the greatest pitcher this year, even after he came to the Braves. But what do you think about this Braves team?
Well, I think this Braves team, they're creating something special over there with all these youngsters. They're creating a great core over there. I'm not quite sure if it is their time yet. Maybe it is. They still need to go through some growing pains.
Yeah.
But getting Keuchel was that's the reason that they got him for this type of game. And you know, he's got 10 career starts in the postseason, 3.31 ERA. He's been there before, and yeah, he hasn't been the same guy as he's been before. But one of the key stats that I see here is with runners in scoring position, he's given up a 1.77 batting average, as opposed with no runners on, he's at 287. So the guy can clutch down. He can he can get down when he needs to. He can get outs. He can get that ground ball, that double play, because the guy's a veteran. He knows how to pitch in this situation. And the big question mark with the Braves, though, is whether or not Freeman and Acuna are healthy. Those are big question marks. And to me, I don't believe that Freeman is healthy. You know, there's quotes that I've read. They asked him about his injury, and they asked him if he was going to have surgery. He said, not at this time. He said, not an option that we have discussed yet. And that's a big word, yet, to me, you know?
Yes, it is.
And the biggest thing that I saw, and this is from an article I got an interview just a couple of days ago off MLB.com. And he goes on to say that he's going to have to make adjustments to his swing to compensate for his elbow. That doesn't sound good. To me, that's not a guy that's healthy. Compensating, you're going to create a hiccup, something that's different in your swing. So I expect the first couple innings, or at least the first couple at bats, these Braves bats to be cold. That's what I'm focusing on right now.
That's interesting. So you think he's the first maybe 2 times or 3 times through the order, he'd be holding them down then.
Yeah, because Acuna hasn't played much. They sat him down, and Freeman, he hasn't played as much. He did end up playing, I guess, trying to make those adjustments, but he said it himself. He said, "I'll get it going in the next couple of days," is what he said in another quote. And that just tells me he's got to get it going. So it's going to take him some.
That's big. That's a big quote. That's a great find that you had there. I really got to take a look at that one. I'll tell you. Hey, one thing I noticed about the Braves, and which impressed me, and which kind of makes me think that we might have some runs late in the game, is the Braves are good late. I found the stat where after the 7th inning, they've hit 94 home runs this year. I mean, as a team, they've scored 308 runs, hit 249 home runs. But it seems after the 7th inning that they really have come from behind and won some games. So, that's a tough team to hold down for the whole game. But the first 5, it sounds to me like you kind of like that first 5, huh?
Yeah, well, I was sitting here looking at the line, and I originally saw a 4.5, and they crept up to a 5, and I jumped on the first 5 under 5. To me, To me, that's crazy that you're going to give me a 5 in a National League postseason game. Since 2008, I believe it is 35 points that your on base percentage drops across all teams when it comes to playoffs.
Yes.
And not just that, let's not forget in the National League that the pitchers do hit. So if I can get 3 at-bats, I will be really happy. That's 2 at-bats from one team, a pitcher, and 1 at-bat, which is guaranteed from the other side. And that's a half an inning gone from the game. And that's the way I look at it. That's the advantage that I like to take with the National League.
No, I like that look a lot. At the 5 is, I only seen 4.5. I didn't see 5. I kind of had this game looking as an over, as a full game though, not the first 5 at all. And yesterday it was 8.5, and we were talking about it a little bit. And I said I think we better jump on it now because it's going to go up to 9, and it is up to 9 now. So I did take the Braves, over 8.5 for tonight. So that's interesting. You have under 5, first 5, and I have over 8.5 for the full game. Interesting. And we didn't even talk about that until now.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I'm trying to focus on the beginning of the game because, like I said, I know Freeman has to adjust, and I know Acuna has to adjust. They haven't been in action for a little while, and you see Freeman's been struggling. He's been struggling in the month of September, and that's the big part of their lineup. And you look on the Cardinals side, the big question mark is going to be Colton Wong, whether or not he's going to be able to just stepping back into the lineup and be fully healthy. He hasn't played for a while. And then the other one is Ozuna. Ozuna hasn't been hitting at all.
No.
They need those guys to hit. And you look at some of the stats, they talk about Keuchel's career against St. Louis. And yeah, it doesn't look all that great, but I believe there's only about 5 guys that have actually had at-bats against him.
Yes, and it was in May.
Yeah, so to me, that's not a big deal. He's had 1 start against these guys. The only guy that has more than 5 is Goldschmidt, and he owns Goldschmidt. 3 of 18, 0.167 batting average. Yeah, he owns them. So to me, with that stat that he's been that high ERA against them means nothing to me in this situation. And Michaelis has actually had success against them in his career. He pitched well against them this year. I believe he went 7 innings, 3 earned runs against this Braves team.
Wow. Should be a great game. That's 5 o'clock Eastern, so 2 o'clock Pacific. That should be some game. And then after that, we got the Nats and the Dodgers. I really didn't break that game down too much, but I think the Dodgers better watch themselves. These Nats are hot. They're winning games. They're coming from behind games. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if they could take this game tonight, game 1. But we're going to look into that more. Maybe we could we'll put it out on Twitter what we're thinking about that game, or if we can get another Chaco, and we'll see what happens. But for now, we're going to wrap this up. We got the Braves versus the Cardinals. Nolly knows your official play is what?
I'm going to take the shot at the first 5 under 5.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm going to go with over 8.5. Me and Nolly always with the totals. That's funny. That's how we started talking. That's how we started becoming friends. It started with totals.
That's where it's at. That's where I find my angles. I like numbers too. And trying to equate numbers always produces a side for me, not so much I'm sorry, it produces a total for me, not so much a side. And that's the way I try to go after these games. And you know what I do, try to make unders great, That's it, baby. Keep unders great again. Nolly, where can everybody find you on Twitter? You can find me on Twitter at Nolly562.
That's great, Nolly. And I'm at Dom541 on Twitter. And thanks, everybody. It's Who-Bangin Talk Show. This is the baseball preview. We'll try to get one up again in another day or 2. We got big baseball this weekend, games tomorrow. So everybody have a good day and cash those bets.
Yes, sir.